This is J. Krishnamurti's sixth discussion with teachers at Brockwood Park, 1980.
For me, I like to report our students. I met the students the day before yesterday. I'd like to report their conversation, if I may, if it interests you. Only 2 or 3 spoke. The rest was silent. I tried to ask them all various questions, but only 3 or 4 replied. Probably are very, very shy and rather nervous and so on, first time. I got the impression, if I may, that they're terribly concerned about themselves, naturally. And I wondered if we could help them, and so ourselves, not to be so self-centered, so concerned about their own future, their own intense concern. Perhaps the girls are more sensitive, less selfish. But the boys are much more inclined to be the other way. Perhaps you know that better than I do. Would you agree to that? There are 1 or 2, they are very concerned about their hair, beauty, and naturally, at that age, it's right. And we talked about thinking, the art of thinking. Of course, that's totally new to them. And it was rather difficult to plow through all that. Probably they have not given much thought to their own life, to their own way of living. So we began by asking why they were here, whether their parents pushed them here, or did they come here with the help of the parents? Did they want to stay here? And they all like to stay here. They said they all agreed to that. It's a beautiful place. People are so nice, and so on and so on. Then I said, apart from your studies, what are you interested in? One or 2 said, I would like to know myself. I was rather surprised. I would like to know myself. So we began with that. You see, unfortunately, they are not used to moving. They stop at a certain point and find it awfully difficult to go beyond that. They got stuck when we talked about having opinions about themselves. They couldn't move out of that concept of their own opinions. Why shouldn't we have opinions, and so on. And we talked about fear, and we talked a little bit about affection. and about having a feeling of responsibility which comes with affection. That became rather difficult, rather. But I think they understood more or less. So could we go on from there? Would that be all right? Or what shall we talk about this morning?
We should probably talk about that, Krishnamurti, because I think not being able to move beyond a certain point is not just a problem the students have. I feel it's pretty apparent that we may be able to move a little further, but we also seem to be unable to move beyond a certain point.
Is that so actually?
It is so for me.
What do you mean move further? Please, I'm just conversation here as two friends talking.
In the meetings we've had with you over the past few weeks, we've been going more and more into thinking together. And I've seen the importance of that, if we were to work together as a group. And I think we've been able to do it up to a point. I don't know if anybody else agrees with me. I don't think...
Yes.
Sorry, I'm finding it very difficult to...
Up to a point we are capable, or we feel we can think together, work together, have the same quality of attention together. Is that it? Up to a point.
Yes. And also into that, if I may bring this in, I had the feeling, I don't know how other people felt about it, that in the meeting on Sunday, when you were talking to the school for the first time, you were drawing attention to something in the staff that we weren't doing as much as we could. I felt you were questioning that we were doing what we should for the students.
So shall we begin?
Ourselves.
Yeah. Shall we begin with up to a point?
Yes.
And see why we cannot go much further. What do you mean, if I may ask, going further? I'm not being facetious, I'm not being verbally clever. I want to find out, there's this important point. When we say further, what do you mean by that? Further in distance. No, I'm just going to explore it together. Further in distance, further in taking time further, reaching certain point, and moving from this where we are to further. Is that what you mean? All right.
The further I'm talking about has got nothing to do with time.
That's all I want to be clear. If it has nothing to do with time, if it has nothing to do from here to there, then what do you mean further?
Well, the best way I can put it into words is a depth of understanding, maybe. I don't know if that's a very good choice of words. But a clarity, I suppose, yes.
More clarity. No, clarity.
Not more clarity.
That's what you see, that's why when you say move further, does it mean more? I'm not trying to quibble about it. Is it has nothing to do with time. It has nothing to do with reaching a point. Nothing to do with comparing with where you are to some
no quantity.
Achievement and all that. Then why do you say further? I understand what you meant, but I want to clarify it. Then why do you say further?
So last week you pointed out to us that we've been listening to you for many years, and you said that, and you asked us, why, after all this time of listening to you, why haven't you done it?
No, sir. No, we better stick to her point for the time being, which is, she say, perhaps some of us feel too the same way. There is no clarity amongst all of us. Is that it?
Yes.
And we get to a certain point, and that full clarity doesn't come.
Yes, I think I see. What I mean is, we think together. And there comes a point when, for me anyway, that becomes an intellectual process. There seems to be a limit to my understanding.
All right.
Real understanding as opposed to being clear about it intellectually.
Could we, for the moment, discuss what is understanding? Clarity, perception, insight, all that. Understanding, perception, insight. Could we discuss a little bit? Would that be all right? What do we mean by understanding? Understanding what? Or not what, not what, but the mind that captures, understands, sees it immediately, sees the content of something immediately. Right? That's what we understand. Now, how does that understanding, if I may ask, how does it come about? You understand? I want to understand my anxiety. I want to see the whole structure of my anxiety. Not parts, little by little, but the whole movement of this feeling, fear, anxious, uncertain, without direction. So I feel anxious. Angst, the German. Now, how am I to understand it? What is the quality of my mind that captures the whole thing? Let's talk about it a little bit.
It seems to be paradoxical, sir.
What's up?
It seems to be paradoxical. Because sure, the quality of the mind that understands it is free of it.
No. I want to observe. Let's move away from understanding for the moment. I want to observe the whole nature and structure of my anxiety. With its sense of fear, loneliness, sense of uncertainty, without any something to hold on to. All that is implied in that word. And the description of it all is not the real. So, can I capture the whole thing, as it were? I don't know if I'm conveying this.
But then it won't be anxiety alone, will it?
What?
It won't be anxiety alone. It will
No,
also
I'm taking anxiety just for the...
But is it possible to isolate anxiety in that way?
All right, sir, then take something that will cover the whole field. You follow what I mean?
Yes. What about image making?
What?
What about image making? Image making.
Take that, all right. Take that, image making. Now I want to have immediate perception of the whole movement. The mechanism that creates the images, why the images are made, and the stability, the security, the apparent permanency of the image. You follow? I want to, not want to, you understand quickly, I want to capture this whole movement of it. I don't want to analyze it because it's like plunging into the water, Therefore, I ask myself, what is the nature of my mind that is incapable of this total perception of image making? The cause, the consequences, and all that. Right, sir? Now wait a minute, I won't go into it. Now, we can see why images are made. Security, sense of permanency. In that image, I feel safe, certain. There is no disturbance. And so on. And also I know, I am aware or perceive the cause of it. The basic, deep-rooted cause of image making is total sense of insecurity. From there, I create this whole movement of image making. I feel having image, there is a sense of being. Without an image, there is nothing. So that nothingness is terribly frightening. So keep this machinery going. Right? Do we move from there? Now, can this brain, can this mind apprehend the whole thing? You understand my question? I mean, when I see a color like that, red, I see the red. The red is red everywhere. I don't know if I'm making...
The red is red?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
So in the same way, can I see the picture, the nature of image making, the cause and so on, completely? I don't know if I'm conveying anything.
It seems difficult because one's involved in the image making. I mean, one's not involved in the colour, but one is involved in the image making.
Of course you're in. I said, like red, seeing red, it's red always. No, that may be wrong simile. Cut it out. What I'm trying to ask myself is, why doesn't my mind see the whole movement of it?
Well, the image itself is a part, surely.
Huh?
I say the image itself is a part.
Is a part, all right. Part of me.
Or just a part.
Part of my mind.
Well, it's a part. I'm rather thinking of it as a part rather than the whole.
It's a part. Now, why doesn't... Is the part preventing the perception of the whole?
Yes.
Put it any way you like.
Yeah.
I have an image about myself. I realize mind has created the image, the cause of it, the consequences of it, and so on, so on. Is that part of my mind? Or is the whole of my mind?
When you say I realize,
No,
what realizes that I am caught in this image-making process?
No.
What do we mean by realize? We see it?
He said, is this image making only a part of my mind?
Yes.
I'm answering that question. Is it part, or is the entire mind is doing this? Words, images, pictures, ideas, which is the same thing, right? I would disagree. Symbols, conclusions, all that is my mind. What do you call image-making part? I don't know if I'm...
No, it's clear.
So, now wait a minute. When you use the word clear, do you see the whole nature of the mind is to do this?
Is it possible, sir, to see it up to a point?
No. He went into that. I can't see up to a point.
So that there's only complete seeing or no seeing at all?
Yeah.
But this is the problem. We're discussing it now, and we're discussing this now.
Yes.
And you've drawn the picture of how it is all one process.
Yes.
And I think we'd all say, yes, we can see that. But what do we mean when we say we see that? We've understood it, thinking
That's
about
what I
it?
want. That's what I come to. Next, we have explained it. We have understood the explanation. Now, apart from the explanation, is it a fact? You follow? I don't know if I'm conveying this. Huh?
I can't really say I see it unless I've dropped it.
No. Why do you drop it? I haven't even dropped it.
No, that's what. But I can't say I see it. You know, I really can't say I see it.
Now wait a minute. What do you mean by see?
Well, I think seeing it is being free of it.
No. You see that? You've already come to a conclusion.
Or isn't it the reverse?
Now, just a minute. See what you have done. Forgive me, pinpoint. I'm not bullying you or anything. See what you have done, which is you have already come to a conclusion. I must be free to see.
Well, what does seeing mean then?
Inquire into that. Don't say, I must be free to see. I don't know if I'm...
perhaps mostly when we say we see something, it is the partial quality or mechanism still going on, so that we don't see in the sense that maybe Shakuntala is talking about, but we see in this partial way.
No, when we say I see, let's examine that word, go into that word. I see. What does it mean? What do you see?
Well, when I see an object,
I know.
it's very clear.
That's clear. I see this.
Yes.
That's simple. When I say I see, I'm anxious. I see that I'm making images. What does that mean, the seeing of it?
You recognize it. Something to do with recognizing that you're anxious.
Just mean, recognize what?
Well,
Does the explanation conform to the fact? You understand? I've explained. We say, I understand, I see the explanation. Then, is the explanation the fact? It's just words. Right? So, is the word different from the fact?
So don't we see an action in ourselves, but do we not also only see it partially? We see, you talk about image making, and at least I can see how the mind, what it does inside, how it wants to seize on a known thing and match them up and so forth and so on. But this is a very incomplete seeing. I'm not seeing a theory or words, I'm seeing it actually going on in my mind, but I'm only seeing part of it, what's happening at that moment.
So you
I
are
don't
only
see the overall.
So you are only seeing that which is being explained, which is a part. Now, is that so? I'm not saying it is not. I want to question it. You understand my question? Huh? My question is, you've explained to me, and that explanation has a relationship to the fact. Then, looking at that fact, which is image making and so on, I only see a part of it, right? That's what you're saying. Now I say, is that so? Or we are so accustomed to the idea that we can only see part and so keep on repeating. I don't know if I'm... Please...
That's another image, you're saying.
Just go with... Huh?
Only seeing part is another image. Only being able to see part is another image.
That just points.
Are you saying that the totality of the action is contained in the atom of it, in the instance of it?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You see,
then why do we have
let me go into a little bit. I have no conclusion about anything. I have no opinion, and I really mean it. I have no opinion, no conclusion, no idea about it. I start with that. Right? Because my conclusions, my thought, my idea are all part of the image making. I don't know if you see that. No? Right, sir? If I see that, then I have come to it as though I'm watching it for the first time. Right? That's where our difficulty is. am I looking at the image making, seeing, observing, use the word observing. Am I observing the image making, the whole machinery of it, the consequences of it, the cause of it, and so on, as though I was looking at it for the first time? Right?
Sir, could I suggest that even that might not be enough?
No.
Because when I did look at these things for the first time, I can't say as it was any improvement over what I do now.
No. You see, you've already...
So it's
I want to
more
find out whether I can observe for the first time this whole machinery. Don't say, I have observed, now do it. Forgive me for...
Seems that one of the problems here is that when I thought about sort of recognizing is that as soon as one usually observes it by explaining it with words, and in a certain sense the word recognizes the feeling. It's not looking at it the first time.
I didn't say, you are using the word recognize.
Well, I was thinking that's how I usually observe. I
So
recognize what's happening.
that means, what does that recognition mean?
Well, it means that I'm not seeing it the first time.
No, you've already remembered this and So I'm asking, can you observe as though for the first time? Which means your mind is not jaded. Your mind is not in the process of recognition. Your mind is not remembering and saying yes. I don't know if that means you are looking for the first time the whole image building.
Does that mean pushing aside memory?
No. What?
Pushing aside memory as you look?
No, I said, look, not putting aside. There is no... Putting aside is another image. Right? You have... in order to move further than this, you say, I must get rid of that. That, moving away from that, is another image. I wonder if you see this. So, look, I hear for the first time the image making, because I never even thought about it. You have told me, but I've listened, not with complete attention. I say, yes, image making. We all have images, nationalistic, and so on. Yes, what about it? Leave it. But when you are persistently telling me, observe the image making and the consequences, etc., and then you tell me, look at it as though you have never thought about it, never seen it, just look at it.
I think the word time is a bit... The word time is a bit tricky, because when you say time, people tend to think, or one tends to think, last time, first time, next time. But it's not like...
Look at it. Forget it. As though for the first time. Remove all those words, just look.
So may we right now ask, what is it you look at in yourself?
I'll tell you. What are you doing, if I may ask, before I tell you? What are you doing? You heard the image making, right? The consequences of it, the cause of it. You have heard it. Now, having heard it, what goes on? Begin from there, may I? What goes on immediately?
Recording, sir.
Huh?
Recording of it. The recording of what you've
No,
heard.
you've heard that, sir. You've heard it.
No, what actually happens, right, at least for
I'm
me,
asking you.
I see an instance of images in me right away.
I'm asking you.
An instance of image, some image in me I've got, or the process of an image happening as he asked the question. Now
I think you're making it too complex. If you'll kindly listen for a second, you've heard all this. When you hear it, what takes place in the mind? You understand my question? Do you understand my question? What takes place?
I start trying to find something to match what you've said.
What?
Yes.
I start trying to find something
That
to
just,
match.
which means what? No, which means what? Just go into it a little slowly.
It seems that when I see the red, there's an impression.
No, leave the red alone.
Yes, but as Wendy just said, there's an immediate comparison. Is this real? Is this... So there's a questioning comes up at the same second.
No, madam. Look, you tell me image making and you point out the nature of it, the cause of it, the whole movement of it. I hear it. Huh? I can't help hearing. You're telling me. Then, as you are telling me the whole movement of the nature of the structure, what is my mind doing? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying? What is it doing?
Just looking at that process. Just looking at that process.
But it's
What?
searching.
It's moving. Thinking about whether that is so.
No, but isn't even that? I see it.
Isn't that examining
No,
Right,
you are...
You see something
All right, no.
in yourself.
No,
Something
Maria, you're missing. She says, I think about it. Right? Wait, I'm coming to that. That's your reaction. Right? You hear this, and your reaction is, I'm thinking about what you are saying. Right? Stop there for a second. But you're not listening.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
If you are thinking about it, you are caught in the reaction of this reaction to the statement which you hear. But without reaction, can you listen? I don't know if I'm making this.
So it's very clear. This is the question I was asking.
Stop a minute. We've got it. We've come to the point. Can you listen without your reaction?
But the reaction is so quick.
Yes, all right. It's quick. Why is it quick?
You're used to.
Watch it. Why is it quick?
Because the new disturbs and it wants to become known.
Are you answering my question?
It seems as though it just immediately goes in and
Is it?
slots into a thing that keeps thinking.
Take a moment. Hold it. Go slowly, if I may suggest. a reaction, their pleasurable reaction, it endures. Right? Are you following this? You understand what I'm saying? I see something that gives me great pleasure, I hold it. Right? That means what? Oh, come on.
That you're no longer looking or listening.
No, sir.
You've turned it into...
Anything that, any reaction that is pleasurable has a certain time, a certain length of it. Anything uncertain, anything new, anything has to be questioned and acted. I don't know if you see this. Right, sir? Am I barking up the wrong tree? Now will I listen to what you are saying about the image? Listen. Or is that impossible? That's what you're doing with your student, right? You want them to listen to you. And they can't listen because so can I listen to a statement of that kind, which is image making, without any movement on my part? You understand? Then will I not see the whole of it? You understand what I'm saying? It's very interesting. Watch it. You tell me the image making, because the whole movement of it. I listen. I listen without any resistance, without any reaction, without any sense of, oh my God, how am I to do? Nothing. I just completely listen. Then there is no image.
What is what is happening in the brain? What is happening in terms
what's happened to the brain, I can tell you. Watch it. You're all go. The brain is used to quick reactions. It's its nature. It must see the danger and it must react. It must react immediately to any kind of pain. It must react immediately if there is a man wants to hurt you, and so on. It must react. Right? If I have pain, if I react very, very slowly, something is wrong. So the brain has to react quickly. Right? Now, why does it react so quickly to some statement? Right? Why should it react? There is no danger. There is no pain. There is no sense of destroying you or anything. Why can't it listen? You understand what I'm asking?
But in that listening, I repeat my question. What is happening in the brain?
I'm telling you.
No, sir. You described what goes on when we don't listen or when there's danger.
No. You have missed my.
Listening.
You missed my point. You missed my point. Forgive me.
No danger.
Please, just listen. You're not listening. You're going on with your own. Oh my God. I said it is necessary for the brain to react. That's clear. Is there any danger in hearing the image making? Of course there's danger. So the reaction is very quick. I don't know if you follow it. Right? My God. If I don't have an image,
you're nothing.
I'm nothing. So my reaction is immediate.
So which means we are always living in time.
So is it not also another image that I am nothing?
No, just see what is happening. As she wants to know what is happening to my mind, to my brain when I listen. She's asking that. She keeps on asking that. What happens? You ask.
I don't accept the defense theory as necessarily immediate and therefore presents listening. I understand that there is danger in not having images and all that, but one can surely go beyond that. And not be motivated by a sense of danger which makes a reaction.
Then why do you react?
But
please answer my question.
Well, I'm saying that one can get to the point of not reacting to danger signals.
No, I understand, but you have not answered my question. Why do you react and so prevent yourself from listening?
I don't say I do react. I'm asking you, what is the mind or brain doing when it's only listening?
It's completely quiet.
But for me, that statement
has no meaning. Has no meaning. But why?
Because it's unknown.
Oh?
Because it's utterly unknown.
No, but that's not an answer. He says, in listening, there's such attention, there's nothing else. I'm just listening. You say that's not possible. No, wait a minute, lady. You say that's not possible. And you say, I don't understand it. And I am asking you, why don't you understand a statement which he has made, that when you are listening completely, which means complete attention, there is no reaction, no image.
You hear the words.
Please answer my question.
I can't answer the question.
What do you mean you can't?
Because the mind goes on, the mind doesn't stay still. At least
that's the whole point, what I'm saying.
Therefore, you hear the words and you don't respond with reactions, but still there is some motion in the mind.
No.
It doesn't go blank.
No, it is not blank.
What is it?
It is in a state of attention
to what?
To what is being said. That's all I'm saying.
What is the action of the mind in that attention?
I'm saying attention. There is you can't ask what is the state of the mind when it is completely attentive. He says, be attentive, you'll find out.
That's not an answer.
Oh, that's an answer.
And then we're throwing words around as far as I'm
concerned. No, not at all.
Isn't any other state a state of reaction, essentially?
That's the point. The mind subtly and visibly, quickly mobilizes certain patterns.
We know all that, Maria. You're not answering my question. When you listen with attention, what is the state of your mind? You answer that question. Either it is inattentive, therefore reaction, recognition, say, by Joe, danger, this, that, and the other, or you are so attentive and therefore you are completely listening to the truth of something that is in the image making.
In the what?
In the image making.
Then you are examining the image making?
What?
Are you examining the image making?
No. You're not, look, you're not thinking, you're not observing yourself, you're trying, look, he makes a statement to me that the image making, the cause of it, the consequence of it, he has explained very carefully. Now, while he is explaining, I am attuning I am becoming very, very attentive to what is being said. Therefore, in that attention, there is no reaction. That's all I'm saying.
That's all you've ever said.
What?
That's all you've ever said. That covers everything.
That, for the moment, that covers that. That is, when there is attention, there is no reaction. When I'm hearing every word that you are saying so completely, therefore attending, my mind is inactive.
So in other words, there is no division between what you hear.
What?
In other words, there is no division between what you hear and the mind.
If you like to put it that way, yes, there is no division. I'm listening, sir. Apparently that seems to be...
That's what I would like to ask. Why does it seem to be so impossible to do that?
Does it interest you?
Yes.
If it interests you, you're paying attention to what is being said. Then you find out whether you are actually attentive.
You said that the mind is inactive?
Yes, because when it is listening, it's not chattering, it's not going off, it's saying, what is he talking about, and so on and so on. It is just listening, sir. I use the word inactive in the sense that it has no reactionary movement of its own. What is your difficulty?
Because I come to a vacuum.
Be a vacuum.
Well, a vacuum...
I mean, you see...
As soon as the word vacuum rises, we're using words descriptively. Notice what happens actually in the mind is that all movement ceases in a way.
That's all I'm asking. Not in a way.
But that is a vacuum.
That's not a vacuum.
It means that I don't move with any of the things that the mind serves up.
Yes. Not you move.
No,
mind, no, let's be precise. The mind doesn't move in the pattern it has been accustomed to.
Yes, but does the mind stop moving? And what
yes,
does that mean?
I said it stops. I explained very carefully. You're not listening, Maria. That is, I'll repeat it again. He makes a statement about image. And my habit is to think about it. Right? I'm thinking about it. So therefore, I am not actually following him, but I'm thinking whether it's logic, whether it's sane, whether it's irrational, whether it's blah, blah, blah. I don't do all that. I am saying, I want to find out what he's saying, the truth of what he's saying, the content of what he's saying. That's all. Therefore, my mind is very alert. That's all I'm saying. That's all.
When you say, I want to find out the truth of what he's saying.
I want to understand.
What one recognizes instantaneously that all the answers the mind will give, all the scales of weighing are out, have no meaning in this. So some other factor has to come in and operate. And
it is operating. The other factor is, I've told you, the other factor is the sense of acute listening so that the image making is coming to an end as I'm listening.
Now, sir, that implies that when you said that the mind is inactive.
Not inactive. Don't stick to that word. The mind is active when it's attentive.
Right, but if the image making is coming to an end, then there's also something else going on.
No,
besides
sir,
just
you're
this.
also... No, keep it simple, sir. Why do you make it so complex?
Well, it seems to be complex.
I'm talking about listening. Listening is complex, but you can understand what it means.
We don't seem to be able to understand what it means. We don't seem to be able to understand what it means to listen.
What?
Listening.
Apparently one doesn't.
No, then I don't understand how we understand. What do we do?
All right, let's begin. Let's experiment with this. Will you listen to what I'm saying? Listen, not, oh, you're right, you're wrong, oh, what's my reaction, why do I... Just listen, will you? Will you? We raised the question about image making. That may be the central root of the whole mind. Root, that is its movement. Image making, the cause of it is security, be certain, feeling a sense of identification with the image, giving you a certain quality of strength, being identified with an image that I'm a British, that gives you great strength. And the consequences of that image is division. My image as a Hindu, your image as a Christian, and so on. Have you listened to that? Huh?
I'm sitting worrying about what listening means, actually.
I've told you, I said listen, not what it means to listen. You see, now wait a minute. How are you going to ask your student to listen to you? You're going to teach him history. Huh? How are you going to help him to listen? That's all you want, don't you? You know all about history, or geography, whatever it is, as much as you know, and you want me to listen to it, right? Because if I can listen to you, I've absorbed it. Right? But if my mind is wandering, if I'm saying, oh, for God's sake, I'm not listening. How will you help me to listen?
If you tell him about history,
huh?
If you tell him about history and all the interest that is in it, he might listen.
No,
No,
sir, you miss my... How will you help him to listen?
Well, if he's not listening and you say to him, listen, he's not going to listen.
So what will you do with me? How will you help me to listen to what you're saying?
It's not really a good analogy, sir, because that's a completely different kind of listening than what we're talking about here.
It is the same, move it further. That's all. Begin with there.
Well, all right. If we begin with there, very quickly, if you say there was nationalism is divisive, I venture to say everyone in the room sees it instantly.
Yes.
But what do we see? We see the whole process and all the examples in one flash, and
that's all.
It's over.
Why?
But your mind has...
Why? No, just a minute. Why?
The evidence...
No, please. Which means what? You are also... Which means what?
We see the truth of it.
We've looked at something and seen the truth of what you say and the fallacy of...
Which you have not explained. I see, you said just now, please quietly listen to me for a minute, if you don't mind. You said just now, when you say nationalism is divisive, the consequence of the division, I see it instantly. Why?
Because it's obviously so.
It's like looking at the good old...
So what does that mean?
We listen to you.
What does that mean?
No, it means you're no longer a German or an Englishman or an American or whatever.
You had no ideas about it.
No, you're missing.
We are not reacting, sir. At least for time being, we are not reacting.
We see a fact.
So, you see a fact, right? Iran and Iraq. You see a fact. Huh? So, your mind acts quickly when what? When you see fact. Right? Right? Fact which is observable. So you cannot see anything little abstract. Is that it?
I think it's more difficult to see something that's subtler than...
So your mind is not subtle.
I think the difficulty is in the process of abstraction itself.
Huh?
I think the difficulty is in the process of abstraction itself. That
yes,
is
sir. Look, sir.
Hearing the word, and then the mind in reaction goes from that word to something else.
Look, sir, if you don't mind, you said it's fairly observable that Iran and Iraq, very simple, very observable, actually going on, murdering each other. Now, image making is as dangerous, as observable as that. Right? Right? Actually observable. The British with their image, the French with their image, same thing. Right?
Yes, but we're trying to look at the question of the. You see, a number of people have raised the question that this is of the difficulty of seeing this as a fact, not, you know.
It seems if you
This is the
listen to
point.
No, you're missing.
notes.
So,
I'm trying to feel the
they are
point.
both observable, both factual. And why do you see that very clearly, Iran, Iraq, and why don't you see this equally clearly, immediately?
I wonder if one does, you see. I wonder if one does, because it's easy to see it as in the newsprint, right? Iran and Iraq.
No.
But when if you've actually seen that, you've also seen that you yourself have no national identity.
That's all I want to get at.
Well, I'm questioning whether that has actually happened, you see, whether we do
that's
see
for
that.
you.
Or if when America is threatened, the Americans feel terrible.
That's
or
for
when
you.
Germany is threatened, the Germans feel terrible. Or, you know, this is the point.
Sir, I see Iran and Iraq, and I say to myself, am I a Hindu, British? If I am, out. It's gone. I see the danger of that, and the danger, if I'm a nationalist, is finished.
But sir, the quality, the nationalism is in a way a part of the image-making totality.
That's all.
Now,
Carry
it's
on.
easy to look at the part and see beyond that. But the whole action of the mind.
I am doing that. I am doing it.
Get out of one's whole process of mind is more difficult than nationalism, I suggest.
We are doing it now, but you are not observing what is happening. Forgive me for pointing out.
It seems if I hear that bird, the naming process is where
Same thing, naming.
Yes, but that's where the difficulty is. The pure attention is there often, and yet to move in life there has to be the naming process.
After all, Iran and Iraq, you know, they have their images. Right? Right? Finished. It is these images that are destroying the world. Right? Right? Catholic image and the Christian, and so on, so on. So my mind says, sees the whole of it. Sees any image as my image about myself, my image as a Hindu, my image of reputation, you know, because it's fundamentally destructive.
So why don't we see the whole of it? We seem to be able to see parts quite clearly, as Mrs. Zimmerlis was saying, and
I think you are mistaken. I think by saying constantly we are only see the part, you are doing it, you are preventing yourself. When you see, that's not a part. Iran and Iraq is not a part. It is, there is the whole thing. Right? Why don't you see? It is there. But when you say that's only a part, you really not understood the whole nature of image making.
Isn't it like that image making is like a physical law, a universal law? If you see it applying in one place, it's true throughout. I mean, it isn't just an isolated thing in Iraq and Iran.
That's just it, sir. Do I see in the part, right? You call it the part, I don't. Do you see in that the whole? Of course, it's simple enough.
Is every reaction an image?
No, my lady, I'm asking you, do you see in the Iraq and Iran war the whole image of the world? Right? Do you see it? Huh? Huh?
I'm sure we do.
Now, you see, Maria, you're...
But you see, sir, the mind is having to recognize constantly, react to factual things necessary to get through the day, to operate. Is it that we don't see where you've gotten over into the wrong territory? You have to have images of certain things. You have
that's understood, Maria.
Yes,
don't explain
all
all
that.
unnecessary.
Is it that we don't see the borderline between the false...
Oh, yes. No, sorry. You've gone off to something. I am asking you, please pay a little attention. Please pay attention. Which is, do you see in Iraq and Iran war the whole image making which has produced that?
I think we have to say no. By the way that you've been talking about scenes,
I see you. Obvious you have.
We have to say no.
I see you have. I say, why don't you? There is the root of all this, the image making.
That's true, but also you can't say that there's a progression from one to the other. That's
what?
I say you can't say that there's a progression from one to the other. That is, there isn't, in a way, there isn't a progression from saying the war in Iran and Iraq and then image making. It's an undivided process. You see what I mean?
Yes, I understand. But the image making process has produced that. Right? So, you follow? Move.
Somehow I don't seem to see that my images produce the same thing. There's a gap.
Of course it does.
Yes, but you say of course, but there's still something there that
if I have an image of any kind, I am Iraq and Iran.
Well, you say of any kind. One sees that the image-making process produces Iran and Iraq, but the image-making process also enables us to survive in this world.
I said, Maria, you go back to that over and over again. You haven't moved.
That any image making.
I've said psychological image. It's all very clear.
Yes, but it's the grey area between.
There is no grey area. You are insisting on grey area. You see, we are not even listening.
Is this because we don't want to listen? What is it that...
I don't know.
I can't understand what it is. Why?
All that I'm saying is, this image making has produced wars, right? Right, sir? Right?
Yes.
That's all. The image making is producing this dreadful war between those two. So, my mind immediately says, This is the law, that where you have an image, apart from, I'm talking of psychological image, where there is a psychological image, you inevitably produce conflict, full stop. If I hear that, personally, the very hearing wipes away my image. Where are you?
I'm thinking that
where are
this
you?
again seems blazingly true when you say it. Now I'm trying to find out, why do I say it?
You see, that's what I...
No, but Krishnaji, you've examined these things.
I've examined them ad nauseam. I am saying you are not listening.
Well, is it what makes me
You're
say
going
that
on.
something else, or have I simply thought about this in the usual way, examined it, seen instances, seen the truth, or is some other factor making one see that?
See, there is no other factor except your own observation, your own intelligence that says there is the whole work there. My intelligence says there is the root of all that. And if I say I like that, I join it. It's as clear as mud. What are you trying to say?
I'm still trying to find out what goes on in the mind or the brain. When you listen to that, what is saying that?
Nothing is... Look, Maria, would you listen for a change? Would you listen? I don't think you do. I'm very serious in this matter. I don't think you're listening. I said very clearly, there is the whole image making that has produced that. Do you see the fact of that?
Yes.
Huh? Right? Do you? Now what does that mean? Answer, what does that mean when you say, I see the fact of that?
I see that is the root of all of...
That is the image making which has produced the image making in me. So, the seeing of that, looking at it without any reaction, destroys any image in me. There is the danger. If I have that, I am a danger. That's all. It's finished. Don't say, what happens to the mind when there is no image?
I'm not asking, no.
That's what you're asking.
No.
The mind is active.
No, I'm not saying what would happen if, what would be...
Please proceed what
happens now.
I'm telling you what happens now. The clarity of that is the clarity of my mind. There is no clarity as long as I have an image. Clarity is clarity, clear light.
So is this the silence you were discussing with Dr. Bohm, in your last discussion with Dr. Bohm? You said that action must stem from that silence. Is this clarity that you're talking about?
I don't know what we discussed. I'm sorry. Here I'm talking about a mind that is free of image. That's all. A mind that's free of image is clear. Right, sir? Have you understood this, Maria, or still at it? Would you kindly answer me?
Well, my mind goes immediately in what you have just expressed. But is that apparent perception as I don't understand what is happening in the mind when it happens at that moment.
Why do you want to understand? No, wait a minute. Why do you want to understand?
I may fool myself.
Huh?
I may fool myself, maybe not in this instance, but in some other.
No, I'm talking about this instant. Why do you go off to something else? I am talking, if you see that clearly, the cause, the image, human beings creating two images and fighting about them, blasted images, and it's the same with me if I have an image. So, the clarity of that is it has dispelled the image which I have. That's what I'm saying.
And I'm asking,
no, have you got that?
Clarity, or am I seeing something perhaps more clearly than usual, also logically?
What?
There's a danger that logic can be leading you to that same statement and
what is wrong with logic? It has got its paradoxes, which means contradictions, but what's wrong with it?
Well, surely when you talk about looking at something...
That is, have we examined that logically?
Logic is not the only factor.
I did not say... I said I've examined that logically, and I see logically as long as you have the image, you must be in part of this destructive business. And then the intelligence comes in and say, look, have you this image? Wipe it out. It's finished.
So, surely any element of understanding necessarily has to be at an intellectual level, and after that it's a question of a state of mind.
So intellectual understanding is no understanding.
Well, what other kind of understanding is there?
I can explain to the Arab and to the Jew, they're a Semitic race, they have divided themselves as Jews and Arabs because of their tradition of their bringing, one has one book, the other has the other book, and they are fighting about nothing. Logically, they listen to it, but logic doesn't solve anything, because they are still...
So the issue is really one's state of mind. That is the issue. The quality of the state of mind.
That's what we're saying there. The image the Jew has, the image the Arab has, is destroying them.
But you just said that logic doesn't get you anywhere.
No.
Or wouldn't get them anywhere.
Not them. Us, I'm talking. They wouldn't even bother to listen to it. Do you mean say Mr. Begin will going to listen to you? Of course not.
Well, we are bothering to listen to you, but we're still blocked. But presumably it's because of our state of mind that we're blocked.
No, sir, I've explained all that just now. My intelligence says that is the same as this. And that intelligence says that intelligence operates, therefore there is no image. Right? Don't agree with me if you don't.
I can't answer that, Krishnaji. I don't know if it's intelligence or just...
No, because you haven't exercised. You haven't exercised it, you haven't listened. You're right back again, I don't know what it is. If you want to be the devil's advocate, you're perfectly welcome. But you are here, both of us are here to understand certain things, which means we are applying our minds, our hearts to the understanding of the image making which has brought about war between these two. Now, come back home. Have you got images?
Yes, we obviously do.
Huh?
Yes, yes.
Then what are you going to do about it? Are you going to carry this image for the rest of your life? Which what Iran and Iraq are doing. Arab and the Jew, the Hindu and so on and so on. They're all doing this throughout the world. See, either we like the image, keep it. If you like it, we're playing their game. See, as educators, what are we going to do? Right, sir? All those boys and girls have images. Definite, very deeply rooted.
There's a danger. Excuse me. A danger. There seems to be a danger in looking at this image-making process. There seems to be a danger in looking at this image-making process.
Yes, sir.
And yet, if we haven't done it ourselves, how can we ask the students to face that danger?
Yes, sir. Ask. You're all the... Yes, so that's a question you have to solve. See, the difficulty, sir, is this question arose with those students when I met them, a little bit. But their minds are too mature. You understand? They're not alive to all this. And because I was insistent and went into it a little bit, they paid little attention. But how will you help them not to have an image? If I have an image and they have an image, what am I going to do? I know what I will do. I will talk to them about it. I've got an image. See, go into it. Keep on. You follow, sir?
The danger seems greater for the older person than for the younger person.
Yes, sir.
He's accumulated more.
It's a great danger to all of us, no? You follow?
Yeah.
Strange, sir. We are willing to listen here, the group of us. Outside they won't even listen to it. You understand? You understand, sir?
Yeah.
They won't even listen to it. So, since we are a group of people who are willing to listen, let us shake up the boat.
I can't see how we're very much different, sir, because...
He said that, sir.
We don't listen.
No, he said, if I have an image, how can I help that boy, the student who have not have an image?
And how do we even look at our own images?
Yes, you have. You know very well you have got an image.
Yes.
So, and the boy or the girl has an image. So, can't we educate each other not to have images?
Well, it's not at all certain what that process is, sir.
We've just now shown, sir.
All that we've shown, as far as I can see, is that we don't, in fact, look or listen at...
No. Observe what has happened in Iran and Iraq. See what is happening. That's the result of images. so obvious.
Very obvious.
So, if I have an image, I will be like that.
Is seeing that enough?
Yeah, that's enough. Begin with that. Is that enough? Begin with that. And move from there.
How does one move from there?
I'm telling you, if I have an image, is my mind making images all the time, verbal, conclusions, opinions, they're all images. So, you follow? Why? One image is good enough to wipe out all the other images. Ten past 1, we better stop.